Hi, book fanatics. Welcome to Books and Biographies 101. My name is Mishak Mahai, aka the Bookworm. Welcome to another video. And this time we'll be doing our very first book review, which is Today Matters by John C. Maxwell. This is a very interesting and informative book that I enjoyed so much and I ended up reading it twice. In this book, Maxwell is teaching us about the importance of today and how to spend each and every single day to our full potential. In simple words, yesterday is history. Tomorrow is never promised. The only chance you have is today, and that is why today matters. By so saying, I mean you can't go back to yesterday, and you can die before the end of today. So the chance you have is today. And the question is, what are you doing about today? As John said, we over exaggerate yesterday because some people spend their time talking about the past, either celebrating or praising the past victories or blaming the past for their present situation. We overestimate tomorrow. Some people think tomorrow is bound to be better for them, even if they don't have any kind of a strategy to prepare for their future. I mean, it's funny how people expect the better future without even having any kind of an effort to prepare for it. Some people tend to say they will have a breakthrough in the future. Some say God will make it happen for them. But what is it that you're doing now? And that is why John said, I would only need a day in your life to tell you if you're going to have a better future or not. We underestimate today. I mean, just imagine calling your friend asking, hey man, what are you doing today? And he says, hey bro, I'm just chilling today, passing time. And what are you doing? Just imagine passing that wonderful time for no reason. And that friend expect to be successful even more than people who are spending sleepless nights paying the price for their future. See, John's father once said to him, you can either play now and pay later, or you can pay now and play later. But either way, you'll have to pay. So it's your choice. You can pass time now and work hard later, or you can work hard now and enjoy your future. John mentioned two important aspects that everyone should practice, which is decision and discipline. So the first thing before anything is to decide if you're going to do it or not. And if you're deciding to do it, make sure you practice discipline to see the results. Some people have a good decision making but a poor discipline, and some they have a poor decision making and a better discipline. But both those groups will struggle to see the expected results. So be careful and make sure that you have both a good decision making and a good discipline in order to have or to yield the expected outcome. He went on to tell us about what he calls his daily dozens, which are the 12 principles that he lives by or he maintains on daily basis, which are attitude, priorities, health, family, finances, thinking, commitment, faith, relationships, generosity, values, and growth. In all of the daily dozens or the principles, he practiced the aspect that I just told you about, which are decision and discipline. And in each of the principles, he told a story on how the principle was badly practiced. And he told a story on how he adopted the principle. He also gave a reflection of the principle over the years. He told a good story about the principle, and lastly how you can adopt and practice the principle on daily basis. I agree 100% with the daily dozens that John mentioned in this book, but I decided to narrow them down into six, which is half dozen, which are most uh, significant or most important principles for me personally. But I recommend that if you are interested in reading this book, go read all of them. They are very important. So before I get to the six principles, make sure you subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that like button, hit that post notification button, so that whenever I post, you get notified and be the first to see my videos. Share this video with your friends and families, and also comment down below what you think about this book. So this time I'll make sure that the comment sections are open so that we can be able to communicate. So without further ado, the first principle is attitude. John said, the way you portray attitude towards people determine how they portray attitude towards you. So there's more likely that people you associate with, you tend to adopt their attitude. So the power of association is working. Association brings assimilation. So in other words, you are more likely to behave like people around you. So the positive or the right attitude always gains attention or wins the battle. So John said, if everything is equal amongst people, the one with the right attitude always wins. So I was really inspired by the story of Lance Armstrong, who survived criticism at an early age. He went on to survive a metastatic cancer, which went all the way to his brain. And then he came back after that to win the cycling races. And when he was interviewed, he said, when you're given a second chance in life, go all the way. The next principle is priorities. So in here, John is stressing on the issue of becoming the jack of all trades and the master of none. He gave a story of Howard Hughes, who was born in a fortunate family because his father owned a drill bit company. So he left the company with the management and went on to explore his endeavors. He went on to do movie production, and after some few years he went on to the aviation industry. After some few years he went to get a project whereby they were trying to make flying boats. After that he went to buy the TV studio. After that he went on to buy hotels and casinos. And Howard didn't have luck of succeeding in all of the endeavors. If he could have focused at least on one or two of the endeavors, he could have seen his maximum potential. So basically what's happening is that we should focus on our priorities. Make sure that we prioritize our stuff. Know which ones are more worth than other ones, and make sure that you focus on the most important priorities as compared to the other. I was inspired by this interesting story of Charles M. Schwab, who was the president of the steel company, who went to consult on Ivy Lee about how he could improve the company production. So Ivy Lee gave him a very short philosophy, which was most important. He said to him, write down the 6 important things that you're going to do at work tomorrow. And then Charles wrote them down. And after that, he said, number them according to their importance. And Charles did so. And he said, go back with this paper. Tomorrow, make sure you wake up, look at the first priority, do it until you're done. After that, focus on the second one until you're done. Don't worry if you don't finish all of them, because you would have completed the most important priorities. And then after that, repeat this thing over and over again over the years, and you can even give it to your employees. And then after that, if you feel like my philosophy is worth something, come back and give in something for that. And then after a few weeks, Charles came back and gave Ivy Lee $25,000 check, which is a worth, it's a fortune. So this is a very important philosophy that we can use. We can prioritize our things according to numbers of their importance, and then focus on doing the important priorities first before we can go to other least important priorities. The third principle is health. So in this chapter, John is trying to stress about people engaging in living a healthy lifestyle when they still have time. Because a lot of people, more especially young people, they realize or start to take care of their health after they've experienced a major setback, just like John, because he started taking care of his health after he experienced a heart attack. So it is important for us to live a very healthy lifestyle, active healthy lifestyle, while we still have time. And when I was reading through this chapter, I remember the conversation I had with my brother one of the days. He said a lot of people who are engaging in drug abuse, it's because they are depressed, they have a lot of reasons. But I disagreed, saying that only a stupid person can make the mistakes that common people make. I mean, you see a person who is a drug addict, his health, his lifestyle is messed up, but you go to an extent of doing the same thing, knowing the outcome of it. That's stupidity. If you're saying it's not stupidity, then you're crazy. I feel like this thing of saying you learn from your own mistakes is sometimes overrated, because you see someone on the streets flat drunk, sleeping, you say shame on him or you laugh at him. Tomorrow it's you holding a beer in your hand on the streets. What do we call it? It's stupidity. You see a very dire accident on the TV, and the police report says it's as a result of drunken driving. Tomorrow it's you in your car driving and having a beer in your cup holder. What do we call it? A stupidity. So people should learn how to take care of their health. I mean, simple things are what breaks our health into pieces. Every doctor recommends don't smoke, don't indulge in excessive drinking, don't do this and this and that, but people keep on doing them. So let's keep a very healthy lifestyle to prolong our lives, and also not to engage in going to hospitals before time. Let's not be patient before time. That's what John is trying to say. The fourth principle is commitment. Here John is trying to teach us about how to commit. He says failure to commit is a recipe for disaster. So basically, we have to commit in everything that we do in order to attain success. Commitment doesn't end when you say I do in a wedding celebration. It doesn't end when you shake hands to end a business deal. It doesn't end when you buy a treadmill to start exercising. It is just the beginning. That's how commitment is. And then be aware that commitment is tested every day, just like faith. You will undergo adversities in commitment. And if you're well determined to commit day by day, you are paving your way to greatness or to greater success. The fifth principle, it's finances. So here John is trying to let us know on how to manage our finances because they are very important in our lives. But there are some things that we should be aware of. First of all, money doesn't buy you happiness. Money doesn't bring you happiness. Regardless of how wealthy you are, money is not the source of happiness. The second point is that debt will make you depressed and miserable, more especially bad debt. If you're owing, you are more likely to be depressed and miserable. There is this quote by Donald Oswald that says, an average American is busy buying things he doesn't like with the money he doesn't have to impress people he doesn't even know. And that is the truth that is happening in the world right now. We are living to impress other people, of which is useless. The third point is that finances or money gives us options. And this is what we should pay a lot of attention on because some people have negative attitude towards money. Money gives us options. That is the truth. Because if you have limited amount of money, you have limited options. You might end up working over the age of 65 just because you don't have enough money. You might end up taking your kids to the public school, whereas you desire your kids to go to a private school just because you don't have enough money. You may not be able to buy that reliable car that you want because of lack of money. You may not be able to switch the careers to do something you love because of the lack of money. But if you have enough funds or enough money, it will give you options to do those things. So what is happening is that I've realized that a lot of people prefer using a direct way as compared to an indirect way of using money. Now here's an example. You go to a Markham store, you see these shoes, pair of shoes that you like for 1,000 rand. You go back home, you ask your mama for 1,000 rand. She promises you at the end of the month, and then she gives you that money at the end of the month. You go directly to Markham stores, you purchase that pair of shoes. And here's another context. Your mom gives you that 1,000 rand at the end of the month. Instead of going directly to Markham stores to purchase that shoe, you go and purchase car wash products. You wash cars, you take your profits, you go to Markham stores and purchase that pair of shoes, and then you still have your money. You still have your business, and you also have shoes. So comment down below what you think about the point that I'm trying to raise. But if we can try to look at spending money in a different way, more especially the indirect way, it will be more helpful on us. The sixth and the last principle is thinking. So in this chapter, John is stressing about people indulging on daily basis in practicing thinking, because thinking gives us good results. It gives us value over people, and it also gives us advantage over people, because usually poor thinkers are considered to be the slaves of their surroundings, because usually in most cases they will be more likely to serve people who are great thinkers. There's this saying that says, it is better to have an empty purse than an empty head, which is so accurate, and it reminds me of the code of Jim Rohn that says even if we can give everyone in the world same amount of money, within 6 months the money will be back in the pockets of great thinkers, because thinking gives you power over other people. So we should practice those 11 types of thinking that John mentioned in this book, and this will make us uh, have more advantage over people who are not great thinkers. So the overall philosophy in this book is the one that was mentioned in the beginning by John C. Maxwell, that says the secret to your success is determined by your daily agenda, because what you do on day-to-day basis is what makes you a better person in the future, or a better competitor in the future. And you're more likely to be successful if you're doing things on daily basis. I mean, there's this quote that says if you give 2 hours of your time every day on one subject for 5 years, you will become an expert on that subject. So that's what basically is happening. If you do something on daily basis which is more relevant to your success, you're more likely to be successful. So before I go, please subscribe to this channel if you didn't yet. Show me some love with some likes, and comment down below what you think about this video. And I will see you soon in the next video coming soon. Peace out.